Welcome to Cadeau and Janko, Wednesdays at Lunch.
Burger Edition.
This week, Matthew and I, for a big episode 70, we visit major burger chains on every 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So with episode 70, we had to find ourselves another major chain.
Starting to run out
In the city of Montreal. It's pretty limited on the major burger chains. And so we maybe cheated a little bit, Matthew. Do you think we're cheating?
I don't.
Okay.
So I would have thought that within the first 50 episodes, but now that we're getting a little...
a little more leeway.
Yeah.
So this week, we visited the Colonel's Own Kentucky Fried Chicken. Technically, actually KFC now. It's not actually called Kentucky Fried Chicken. It is actually called KFC.
Or even here in Quebec, PFK.
PFK, that's right. So we went to PFK, and, it says chicken sandwich on the menu. But what's the difference between a chicken sandwich and a chicken burger?
I mean, it was burger buns.
They were burger buns.
It wasn't like a sub bun.
That's right. So
or like white bread bun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that would be awful. So we went and got chicken burgers at KFC. Matthew and I each got different chicken burgers.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a whole ordeal, wasn't it, Matthew?
It was. It feels like a lot of the KFCs, they're very few and far between. And the ones that do exist are burnt down or just a pile of rubble.
So, yes, we first we went to LaSalle because I thought that the KFC there would be a nice little place that we could visit and sit down and have a nice, true KFC experience, sitting down in the restaurant, looking out the window and watching that bucket slowly turn.
Yeah.
But it would seem that this location had been recently torn down.
Google isn't even aware of it.
Exactly. I was looking at my Google Maps. I'm like, okay, we're just a couple blocks away. As we're walking up, I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was here. As we're watching like a backhoe dig up the gravel.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much left.
Meanwhile, Google says not too many people there at this time of day.
Yeah, it said, shouldn't be too busy at this hour.
Thanks, Google.
Yeah, thanks, Google. So we had to make a quick decision on which KFC we would visit. Either, at that point, the two closest ones were either one that's sort of a takeout counter only, where we wouldn't have a place to sit and eat, or two was go to a mall and eat in a food court. Matthew, it's been a while since we've done a food court episode.
Yeah. I kind of wish we didn't do the food court episode
today,
because that chicken, I don't think the Colonel would approve.
No,
I don't think he would approve anything about what was going on in that place.
So okay, I mean, we were reading up on the Colonel just before recording today, and it would seem that after the 1970s, the Colonel became a real jerk about the company. He would visit. He would make surprise visits to restaurants. And if here's I'm reading right off Wikipedia here.
This is a quote, official quote.
As late as 1979, Sanders made surprise visits to KFC restaurants. And if the food disappointed him, he denounced it to the franchisee as goddamn slop. Or pushed it on the floor.
You think he's wearing his white suit when he's doing all this? I mean, he's got to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He never dressed any other way.
With his southern accent.
I'm certain of it. And so, in the 1970s, there's also a quote from the Louisville Courier-Journal.
Okay.
That he was very disappointed in what had become of the gravy. He said, "My God, that gravy is horrible. They buy tap water for 15 to 20 cents 1,000 gallons and then mix it with flour and starch and end up with pure wallpaper paste. And I know wallpaper paste, by God, because I've seen my mother make it. There's no nutrition in it, and they ought not to be allowed to sell it. Crispy recipe is nothing in the
What?
Crispy recipe is nothing in the world but a damn fried dough ball stuck on some chicken."
I imagine his face getting really red. He's getting real hot under the collar here. He's sweating profusely, dabbing at his face with his little
handkerchief,
southern style. and just freaking out at these poor employees who are just trying to make a buck.
Now, can you imagine you're working in 1972 in so we also found out that the Colonel lived in Ontario between 1965 and 1980, the year that he died. Can you imagine it's the late 70s, you're living in small town Ontario, and the Colonel walks into your restaurant. You're like, oh my God, the Colonel is here. This is momentous. Maybe I'll call the local paper or something. Local paper comes. They've got photographer. The Colonel came to visit this restaurant here. How exciting. I'm sure people are excited to see the Colonel. Probably wishing that they had a camera phone that they could take a selfie with the Colonel, but it doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Instead, it's a legend. They're telling their friends. Meanwhile, the Colonel's taking a bite of the chicken, throwing it on the floor. Dipping his next piece of chicken in some gravy, smelling it, and then just shoving his whole tray onto the floor. And then standing up and saying that this is goddamn slop.
I'll say this is goddamn slop.
It'd be very disappointing.
Wallpaper. Yeah. You got to really imagine with the accent.
Wallpaper paste.
And him getting probably grabbing at your shirt collar over the counter like he's livid. This is his baby.
This is his face on a bucket, twisting outside.
Yeah, he's like, get my face off of that bucket. You're not serving the Colonel's food. You're serving some wallpaper slop here.
So, Matthew, do you think the Colonel would approve of the chicken burger that you ate today?
I don't think he would have approved it at all. I think if he wasn't already dead, this would have killed him.
So let's, before we get into our specific situation today, Matthew, do you have some childhood memories or any past memories of KFC? What do you think when you see that bolo tie, that little white goatee? What do you think when you see the Colonel's face?
Finger looking good. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's still, this occasion aside, KFC, one of my favorite places to go to.
Really?
And I don't go very often. Mm-hmm. On one of my birthdays, actually, I spent it alone, and I just ordered a big bucket of KFC. I put it in the fridge. I let it get real cold, and then I ate it.
That's how you like it, yeah.
Yeah, I like it cold. But if you leave it, and when I lived back with my mother, if you leave KFC in the fridge for too long, all the skin's eaten off of it.
You've told me the story how you accused her and she denied eating all the chicken skin, but there was no other culprit.
No, and I know she does it. And it's not like she'll pick a little bit of skin off of one piece, put it back in. I mean, like, oh, maybe they won't notice. But then she'll go and take skin off of another piece, and then before you know it, there's barely any skin left in that bucket of chicken. Just take one piece and go to town on that. Maybe.
Now, Matthew, I have a theory about this.
Yeah.
I remember from when we were growing up, we didn't have cell phones, we had home phones, but I did have caller ID, and your mother's last name is Sanders. Do you feel like she felt that she had a claim to as much KFC as she wanted? If it's in her home, her name is Sanders, this may well be her chicken. For all you know, you are a great-grandchild of the Colonel.
Maybe in her sleepwalking hazes, she would develop a southern accent and just go and reclaim her birthright.
That's right.
The chicken, just the spicy, crispy recipe. Mm-hmm. I doubt it, but I like to, I like to play around with the idea of it. But she loved that chicken. She loved that coleslaw. That coleslaw today, nothing like I remember.
Let's get into that coleslaw. We were standing waiting for our food to come, and I got this tiny little container of macaroni salad, and I looked over. I said, "Oh, you got the potato salad?" "No," you said. "You got the coleslaw." Yeah. I didn't believe you. I grabbed and took a good hard look at it.
You did.
Because it was not that, a radioactive green color that I'm so familiar with for KFC coleslaw. It seems that they've changed how they make their coleslaw.
Now, did they change, or did this one location just not make it right?
I think, because I would see it in the background on the menu for, there was, a box of whatever, a combo box, and you'd see a little coleslaw in the background, and it had changed. it was this new color of coleslaw that you got. There was only one section of the menu where it still had that green color.
Yeah. Huh, there was even another customer there who was a little taken back by it.
That's right. At one point, someone else said, yeah, I ordered the coleslaw. They're like, that is the coleslaw. And she also grabbed it and looked really closely. It's like, why isn't it green?
Yeah.
They changed the coleslaw.
Unacceptable. I'm okay with it, but...
I think it actually looks more
like
appetizing
coleslaw.
now. Yeah, more like coleslaw now. It doesn't look like just some... Because like KFC coleslaw had such a look to it because it doesn't look edible almost.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like food that should be eaten.
No. But overall, KFC when I was a kid, and even now, I loved it. But when I was a kid, I thought it was a cheap place. I thought it was like a fast food place. Like it was along the, it was right beside a McDonald's. It was right beside a Belle Province. So I'm thinking that's just one of those places. But as an adult, I go in there ready to get a bucket, and it's like $50-$60 if you want a full bucket.
If you're getting a huge bucket of
White
chicken,
meat.
Yeah.
If you want all, and you can pick what you want inside too. If you want all breasts, all the good stuff, you might get $100 bill.
Is that a premium chicken?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they'll probably just throw in a lot of the dark meat.
Well, you just get a mix.
You
just
get a
get
mix,
whatever they
but
give you.
That's why I've always wanted a friend who worked at KFC. I wanted a friend there so I could get a bucket and they'll put in all the good stuff, all the white meat.
So how much is just a regular price for a big old bucket of chicken?
I think probably the cheapest you can get is maybe like a
$30?
7 or 8 piece, and it's like $34.
No way.
Maybe $29, but it adds up.
Yeah, I
And
guess
you want
with
a little
tax
bit
or
more.
whatever. I mean,
'Cause
usually
8
if
pieces
you get
isn't much.
8 pieces isn't much,
You
but
want
it's
like a
enough.
20
It's enough
piece.
for like 3-4 people.
Yeah.
You each get 2-3 pieces.
Yeah.
That's not that much money.
No.
That's too much money. Is what I mean.
Oh, it
For
is
that
too much money.
chicken.
Didn't you go to a KFC party once?
I don't think I went to a KFC party for a few years. I have KFC very rarely because when I do, I eat a lot of it and feel like garbage. For a little while, we had a bit of a tradition among some of our friends where we would get together on, say, a Friday night, buy like 2 buckets of KFC, like just spend a lot of money on the KFC, and a bottle of scotch, and just do that.
Okay.
Like, watch a movie or watch some sporting event and just drink scotch and eat KFC. If you, or scotch. I mean, I guess it would be more appropriate if we had some like Kentucky bourbon.
Maybe some mint juleps.
Mint juleps. Oh, another southerner that you're calling upon. You leave out a mint julep too long, you know what happens.
Gets warm?
Well, no, it doesn't get the chance to get warm.
Gets
Because old Seba May,
drunk up.
old Seba May comes by and drinks that mint julep up.
Oh, it is that time of year.
It's been a hot summer. I haven't seen much of Seba May lately.
No, it's raining. It's humid. I don't think she likes the humidity.
Yeah, she's more of a dry heat type of lady.
Talking about your cousin in such a weird way. She's a dry heat kind of lady.
She doesn't like the tropical weather. She's more of a plains type of type of person.
She's walking around with a parasol and her handkerchiefs.
Oh me, oh my! You boys are talking about me again? Oh, Seba May. Where did you come from?
How I've missed you, Seba May.
Well, good to see you too, Matthew.
I really didn't think you were coming today.
I wasn't sure either, but then I heard you boys were going to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Having a little southern taste. Figured I'd give this show a little southern taste.
I thought you were still upset about the last time we called you a raging alcoholic.
Oh, let bygones be bygones.
I guess time heals all your wounds.
We patched things up in time for the Christmas special.
Yeah, I guess we did. Yeah, okay. So no hard feelings then, 7 May.
No, everything's good. I'm gonna go drink some bourbon right now. Let you boys get back to your little show.
You'll stick around though? Maybe we'll hear from
Thanks,
you again?
7 May. Oh, well, so maybe I'll pop back in before you guys are done.
Okay.
Thanks, 7 May.
You don't drink too much because, we still have a show. You got to do your sign off.
7 May's gonna do what 7 May does.
Yeah, I guess so. You can't stop 7 May.
All right, see you, boys.
She's just galloping away.
That's 7 May. You never know where she's gonna come from or how long she's gonna stay.